Alright, I'm going to pop out of chat. We will see y'all shortly. There we go. Welcome in, everybody. For some reason, I have my mic muted. We're waiting for SpaceX to launch their rocket here very shortly. You can't even see the timer up there. I got 22 minutes and counting. Welcome in. Yes, I know this is 2 back-to-back launches. Oh well, so sue me. If y'all like this kind of stuff, like and subscribe, because I'm going to be doing a lot more of it. Let's see, let's go ahead and unmute SpaceX and see what they're saying.
Return back to here at the launch tower, but also they're located in the Indian Ocean, standing by to make sure that the targeted landing zone for the ship is also clear as well.
And then we knock out a whole bunch of things in the hours before launch. We do an alignment on all the guidance, navigation, and control. We did tank purges, pressure checkouts, make sure we were ready for prop load, check the booster, quick disconnects.
And while they're talking, I'm going to get something to drink.
We demate the chopsticks. We actually do a little wiggle check on them, make sure we have control, as we're going to be using those from catch. Load up all of the hydraulics that are on the tower, and then we did the initial locks and methane chills, getting them ready for prop load.
Now, speaking of prop load, we conducted the go, no-go poll for prop load at 3:30, so a little bit less than an hour ago. All was good there. Prop load is underway. The LOX load on the booster started at T-minus 45 minutes, and fuel started at T-minus 43 minutes. Booster fuel will start at T-minus 41 minutes, and then LOX on the booster started at T-minus 35. So that will all wrap up at T-minus.
Mainstream there. We'll be got SpaceX's live stream right off X.
So everything is looking good.
And also have Tim Dodd with the Everyday Astronaut down there in the little window.
Good for a launch today. With that though, let's jump over.
I like his commentary. He's got a lot of good information to put out.
Thanks, Dan and Kate, and great to hear the updates with the vehicle as we prepare for liftoff. There is a lot more people here, as expected.
They've been putting this off for over a week due to weather, and I think the delay earlier might have been from wind.
Love it. All the Raptor engines are built here, so there's a lot of that team here in the crowd, so they have a strong connection to the Starship flight today. Every flight test gets us closer to a fully operational Starship, which gets us
Hey, Will.
closer
Hey,
to our
D-Lex.
ultimate goal to
Welcome
make
in,
humanity
folks.
a multiplanetary species. To establish cities on Mars, we're going to need high-cadence, low-cost flights for cargo and crew. As the only fully reusable rocket with this kind of capability, Starship is the only vehicle in development that will be able to unlock our multi-planet future.
5 in here
Starship
already.
uses a first of its kind on
3
orbit
over on
transport
YouTube. Welcome in,
in
folks.
orbit in preparation for these long trips. With milestones
On YouTube, if
like
you don't mind, guys,
in-orbit
go ahead and give me a like
transfer
over
coming
there.
up, 2025 promises to be huge for
Trying to
Starship
help my
and our
YouTube
journey to
numbers,
Mars,
trying to grow
with
this
our
little
first
channel.
trip currently planned for the end of 2026.
We're up to 408 subscribers
Between
now.
The reusability, low cost, and heavy lift
Getting there little by
capabilities,
little.
This all comes together to help us deliver up to 100 people at a time to destinations both near and far, and to deliver payloads farther and at a lower cost than any other vehicle. We'll be able to launch more massive payloads than anything else flying or in development today. capable
Dang,
of
that stream
sending
looks
things
good
like
over there on
giant
YouTube.
Space telescopes or the next generations of space stations into orbit on a single
Looks
rocket.
good over here on Twitch,
So
too.
while today's flight is just a
But
test,
you can definitely
the
tell a
future is
difference
much
if you're watching
closer
it on
than
something
we
like a
realize.
TV or
But one flight test at
large
a time.
screen.
So let's head back to Dan and Kate for a closer look at Starship.
Thanks, Jesse. Starship features 2 major parts: the ship, which has 6 Raptor engines, and the Super Heavy booster, which has 33 Raptor engines. The Raptor engine is a reusable methane-oxygen staged combustion engine that powers the Starship system and has twice the thrust of the Falcon 9 Merlin engine. Now, just like we saw flights 1 through 6, the current iteration of Starship is an experimental vehicle flying for development. As we mentioned earlier, today's flight is debuting a ton of upgrades that we've had in the works in order to increase Starship's reliability and performance. Several of these upgrades will also unlock our ability to fly longer missions, something that we'll want to do as we start doing orbital flights around Earth.
And then to get an even better sense of just how big Starship is, we can start here. Let's take a person about 2 meters tall. Towering over that, you got your Millennium Falcon clocking in at 35. Just above that, we've got a Falcon 9 rocket, payload variant attached. Double that height, you're up at 70 meters. And then topping it all off, nearly twice the size. It's a fully stacked Starship up to 123. Got 2 meters taller.
Yeah, this is the first time they've flown one of the
Yeah,
Block 2
altogether, the ship,
ships, the
52
top
meters,
part.
Super Heavy boosters, 71. And what's really fun is we're going to make ship and booster even taller in the future.
Which is crazy because turning around and
Yep,
looking
Block
at
3
it,
will be even
thinking
taller.
that it's going to be bigger, that's
Gotta get
mind-blowing.
bigger. Make the ship as tall as the booster.
Now, moving up the rocket, the ship features 6 Raptor engines. 3 optimized for sea level performance and 3 optimized for vacuum performance. Raptor Vacuum, or RVAC, is a similar design to the Raptor engine, but features a larger exhaust section and a larger expansion nozzle to maximize the engine's efficiency in space. Our upgraded ship that we're debuting today carries about 300 more tons of propellant than the last flight's ship, bumping it up from 1,200 metric tons to about 1,500 metric tons. It's a lot. The ship is designed for vertical takeoff and landing on any hard surface. Now, the ship is also outfitted with newly redesigned forward flaps that are used to aerodynamically control the vehicle's attitude during atmospheric flight and enable a precision landing. The new flaps are lighter and positioned more leeward or away from the heat shield.
Now, to reach full reusability, the ship has to be able to survive re-entry not just one time, but multiple times. The
Yep.
ship's heat shield is essentially what does the job for that. We've been iterating on that every single flight, building towards that heat shield that requires no refurbishment between flights. Now, the heat shield is composed of thousands of hexagonal ceramic tiles. They're designed to insulate the vehicle during that atmospheric entry where temperatures ramp up to as high as about 2,600 degrees Fahrenheit. A rapidly reusable heat shield has never been flown in history, so continuously improving this, flying new experiments, those are all key focuses of all of our flight tests right now.
And in between the first and second stages is our hot stage, which we saw in actions on flights 2 through 6. The hot staging maneuver is when the upper stage engines are ignited before the booster engines, and before those booster engines are completely cut off. With hot staging, the rocket never stops accelerating during separation, so it's more efficient than traditional stage separation. One of the hallmarks of Starship flights are the incredible views that we get throughout flight, of course, courtesy of Starlink. Every day, we're working to expand the Starlink network both on Earth and in space. Here's Jesse with more.
Fans of Starship may know that Starlink enables us to bring you lots of unprecedented views, both from space and here on Earth. In addition to the dozens of cameras on Starship itself, we also have mobile Starlink camera kits deployed in the Indian Ocean, connected to our aerial assets and all around Starbase, which all come together to help tell the incredible story of Starship, both on and off planet. Thanks to Starlink, Starship is capable of streaming more than 120 megabits of real-time, high-definition video and telemetry in every phase of flight, providing invaluable engineering data to help engineers rapidly iterate across all systems. And all of that streaming data will be put to good use with the more than 30 cameras on the vehicle for today's flight test. Starlink is the world's largest satellite constellation, operating in low Earth orbit to deliver high-speed, low-latency broadband internet, providing access to people around the world, many who have never had connectivity before. Starlink now serves more than 119 countries, territories, and other markets. And here at SpaceX, we've been developing Starlink's communication capabilities not just for humans on Earth, but for astronauts in space. Our recent Polaris Dawn mission, we deployed a high-speed internet connection in Dragon for the very first time. Here's a quick look at how that went.
Starlink is an amazing confluence.
And that's what they'll be testing today. They have, I think, 4 dummy satellites of the V3 version for Starlink. They're the same weight and dimension, and they also have different sensors on them, and I believe a couple of them have cameras on them, so maybe we'll get to see some good views of the satellites being ejected.
Obtain internet, both uplink and downlink, through that laser link, and it's connected to a Wi-Fi router, just like you would have in your house.
Getting online with Starlink was super easy.
It was just like getting online at home, and even easier, perhaps. It just connected automatically.
And also the V3s are also going to have the direct text-to-cell features if you have a T-Mobile phone.
On orbit blew us away. It enabled us to talk directly with Mission Control Team.
Right now it's exclusively T-Mobile, but once they get it up and running good, T-Mobile's kind of the test platform. They're going to open it up to other carriers.
All 4 of us in different parts of the spacecraft on
So
phones
that way you don't even need
and
a phone signal to get connection, or at least right now text messaging.
Of Earth was very cool to bring them into the mission that way.
I was
And
able
later
to show
on,
my
maybe
kids
even
and my husband,
voice and video
what
calls.
it
We'll
looked
see.
like to be floating in space. I got to show them out the window. Well, my husband even exclaimed that at one point we hung up the call and he called back and I answered and he was like, I called space.
Starlink on Dragon is something that we want to include because we have this company within SpaceX that has space-based internet. So what not a better way to test space-based internet in space?
From connecting astronauts in space to providing high-speed internet to more than 4.6 million active customers here on Earth, the Starlink team is laser focused on expanding coverage, increasing speeds, and lowering latency so that we can connect as many as possible around the world and beyond. Last year, we activated Starlink in 27 new markets.
I'm sorry, but her hair is bugging me.
Area
I could not have my hair hanging down on my face like that. Ugh.
Those who live in some
It's
of the
already
most
too long as
remote
it is
places
right
already.
now.
To meet the growing global demand for high-speed internet, SpaceX opened a new 700,000 square foot factory in Bastrop, Texas, and introduced Starlink Mini as well as an upgraded version of the Starlink
Walk
standard
around.
kit. The SpaceX team also achieved an unprecedented launch cadence, conducting 134 Falcon launches, with 89 dedicated to expanding the Starlink constellation. With each launch, Starlink adds more capacity to the
I don't know,
constellation
Will.
and continues to expand its coverage,
You'll have to Google that.
connecting even more people in underserved and hardest to reach areas of the globe. Now, while our mission to connect the unconnected is far from complete, you can check out some of the Starlink team's highlights from 2024 and learn more about how our customers are furthering Starlink's impact around the world at starlink.com/stories. And a little bit closer to home, we do have a few updates for those impacted by the fires here in Southern California. So far, the Starlink team has provided about 1,350 free kits to fire departments and other disaster response organizations from down in Orange County all the way up to Malibu. That is in addition to applying free Starlink service for thousands of customers impacted by the fires all across the Los Angeles area. And just as critically, since enabling our direct-to-cell satellites with T-Mobile, more than 120,000 text messages have been sent, allowing those in impacted areas to reach loved ones, text 911, or receive emergency alerts. I've never been prouder to be an employee at SpaceX for moments like that where we can help the people and community around us. Make sure to follow @Starlink on X for updates as we continue to work with local response teams, and check out starlink.com/LA wildfires for more information on these efforts. But back to today's flight test. One of our objectives is to return the booster to the launch site where it will be caught by the tower as we did on flight test 5. So let's head back to Dan and Kate for a...
That'll be cool if they can catch it again.
Thanks, Jesse. We are now T-minus 8 minutes and 40 seconds until liftoff. Flight controllers on console there in the building just behind Dan and I.
Hey, Shubs.
The rocket in the distance at the pad,
and
6
Ari.
miles away.
And
our
or.
excitement is
Welcome
growing.
in.
I already am not sure if I'm going to be able to remain coherent after witnessing this, so looking forward to it.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Just a quick status check. The ship fully loaded in its main tanks on locks in fuel. We're going to load the header tanks, and booster is going to be closing out real soon as well. Let's talk about that second catch attempt, though. So we're going to use the tower's 2 gigantic robotic arms, call them the chopsticks. Same thing we used to stack Starship.
Man, they got some. It's great daylight.
Ahead of a flight.
I hope they did catch it. They get some great video from this today.
Legs from the booster to the ground side. It's a lighter booster, means you can carry more into space.
Now, in a nominal operational scenario following liftoff and after the 2 stages separate in flight, Super Heavy will return to the launch site, reignite its engines to slow the vehicle down, and the tower's arms will catch the rocket booster.
And just to get to this point, just like
yeah, this video is from Flight 5 when they caught it last time. They didn't catch it on the 6.
We need healthy systems on the booster, healthy systems on the tower, and a manual command from our mission flight director for the day. If we don't send that command before the boost back burn ends, or if any of those automated checks kick us out, that's what happened on Flight 6, the Super Heavy booster will divert to an offshore trajectory, and it'll go out into a landing burn in a soft splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico.
Now, we have said it before, but it remains true today.
Beautiful catch.
We accept no compromises when it comes to ensuring the safety of the public and our team, and that return will only take place if the conditions are right.
And one of the unique aspects of Starship flights is the return and the catch of that Super Heavy booster and the audible sonic boom that it comes with it in the area around the return location. General impact to anyone in the area is just a brief thunder-like noise, but it definitely lets you know it's coming.
Oh, yeah. It's something our neighbors in Cape Canaveral, Florida and Vandenberg, California have become accustomed to over the years, and now we're bringing the boom to Boca. So here's a peek of what to expect.
And that thing came flying in last time, too.
As I mentioned earlier, we have Starship Raptor and Starlink employees here fully invested in this flight test, and of course many other SpaceX employees.
I'm glad they weren't
here
playing
across
music
all
on
the
that.
sites supporting their teammates. Every flight test has been pretty unique, and we're all
Yeah, that
very
sonic
excited
boom's
for
gotta
another
be
round
big.
First, but I'm pretty sure the crowd is looking forward to potentially watching those chopsticks catch another booster. So let's see how excited they are today.
5 minutes.
Just under 5 minutes to go. We are all very excited here. We're going to send it back to you at Starbase for the final minutes of the countdown. Kate and Dan.
All right, thank you, Jesse. So if you just tuned in under 5 minutes ago, you picked the right time to do it. Just a quick status check. So we're almost fully loaded on the booster. We'll be fully loaded on the ship, fully loaded on the booster coming up soon. Our range team just reported that we're looking go in the range. That's super important. Our security guys, Mike, Kyle, Nick, the whole team out there in the elements, making sure everything's clear, doing a fantastic job. And we are coming up on 4 minutes and looking good for launch.
Yeah, certainly exciting.
Hopefully we don't get a boat in the exclusion zone like we did last night.
T-minus 40 seconds if necessary. This is a chance for us to perform additional checks if necessary.
Yeah, just like in the air, even over the ocean, they have to set up exclusion zones, and it's kind of a no boating zone.
A wayward vessel in the range, last minute opportunity to clear it out. But everything
it's just for safety in case it goes up and blows up and the debris doesn't fall and kill somebody.
Occur in rapid succession. The ground spin and ignition systems come up to flight pressure. The ship will go to internal power. After that, the quick disconnect or QD arm lockout is removed in preparation for retraction, which will happen shortly after T0. And yeah, once we pass T-minus 40 seconds, we do have the ability. We have the ability to recycle the count under certain conditions back to that T-minus 40 second mark and hold there to assess what happened and assess opportunity to proceed again to T0.
Yep, we've used that T-minus 40 hold a couple of times. Boat's usually one of the items, but we aren't tracking anything right now that would cause us to hold there. We can hold there for several minutes. Main thing you're watching at is you kind of set a clock because your temperatures will change, the fuel in the locks, everything pretty quickly. So you've got a couple of minutes that you can hang out and figure things out. There are items that if we pass them,
look at that off-gassing from the tower.
Main one, one of the main ones
looks like nitrogen.
That flame deflector at the bottom of the launch valve. Water begins flowing from that at the T-minus 10 second mark. If we scrub at any point after that, we'll be done for the day. And then teams will need to refill the deflector as well as all of our prop that we use to load on board the vehicle. It's pretty much just under 11 million pounds of prop sitting on that thing right now. And we can actually recycle in about 24 hours now.
Which is incredible given the sheer volume of propellant that is on board the vehicle there on your screen.
All right.
Yeah, they can reclaim some of that. They just can't reclaim all of it.
A lot of ambitious things on the
a lot of boil off
today.
T-minus 2 minutes.
New ship, new year, a lot of upgrades, doing a lot of ambitious things in space this time. Our first payload deploy, relighting a Raptor engine.
Yeah.
We're looking good.
So as we mentioned before, we have an opportunity.
Minute 45. Let's go.
40 seconds. Not tracking any issues at the moment that would be necessary right now. So fingers crossed we can pass through that checkpoint without stopping. But the folks on console are continuing to evaluate the launch commit criteria, making sure that the winds are within limits as well as any other weather restrictions.
Yeah, the winds are gusting up to 27. So
this is a textbook gorgeous day.
Oh yeah, little breezy today, but we got clear blue skies for our launch today. So at this point, all the prop has been loaded on the vehicle. We've closed everything out. We're doing our final thrust vector control or steering for the engine checkouts. Once we hit the 30-second mark, we'll hear the flight director give the final go for launch. So we're under a minute. As we said, we're not expecting a hold in T-minus 40, but do not be shocked if that happens. It has happened in the past, and we can hang out there for a couple of minutes if we need to.
If memory serves me right.
We hold my breath for 4 seconds.
Pass through prop load gate.
All right, we passed right through that prop load gate.
Hot diggity dog.
Good deal.
So
good deal.
Let our flight director Ty Huntington take it away.
Go for launch.
In 20 seconds.
15, 14.
T-minus 10, 9, 8.
Here we go. Good. They put all the telemetry up on the screen again.
4.
Water deluge.
2.
Ignition. Look at all that steam.
We have liftoff.
That's a lot of fire. Go, man, go. Pointy end up, flamey end down.
Vehicle's pitching downrange.
Look at those mock diamonds. That's just beautiful.
Booster check pressure's nominal.
Very efficient engines. All of them look lit.
All right, we're more than
They're
30 seconds
reusing
into
one of the
flight, so
engines
showing
from
33
Flight 5.
33 engines as it's pitching downrange.
Number 314, the Pi Raptor engine. This is the first time they've reused an engine. Well, first time they were able to get one back.
Call-outs on the ship and booster avionics. You just heard the rumble hitting us about 6 miles away. Watching Starship arc into just endless blue skies right now.
Look at that piece of rubber there flapping in the wind.
More than a minute into flight, the vehicle's supersonic.
Max Q.
Beautiful. Max Q, maximum dynamic pressure on the
Just passed
vehicle.
through Max Q. That's the greatest stress the vehicle's going to experience on the way uphill. Reminder that all of our teams down here on the ground are now looking at systems on the tower. They just did a manual check through. That's going to inform that manual flight director's decision. Next moment coming up, though, is going to be hot staging. Don't take your eyes off it. It's one heck of a light show.
What a gorgeous ascent.
6 ship engines getting ready to ignite. That's going to happen while we're still attached.
We can still see the ship's engines from the ground.
Got a little under 30 seconds.
Man, look at those images.
Good call outs on the tower preparedness. Manual
Look at their
checks.
4 8K
Reminder
cameras,
still
even
got
though their live
check
feed's only
outs on the
1080p, but
booster
look how
engine
clear that
itself.
is. You can see all the little rivets.
As of right now, our manual checks and our manual commanding is looking go for a catch.
Booster engine cut off.
That is incredible news.
Right.
Just heard the call out for booster.
Went down to 3 engines.
Engine startup.
Most engines cut off, down to those.
Fired all
3.
6. Looky there.
Cruise back front startup.
Man, that hot staging ring gets hot. Just in that short little time, it got red hot in places.
All right, hot stage
Raptor, chamber
confirmed.
pressure's
We've got a
nominal.
booster hopefully on our way back to us, and a ship now making its assets
No,
burn
hey, Nix, I get
into
nervous too.
space. How's it going in Hawthorne?
I want to
Jesse?
see them all do good.
It's great over here. You can hear the crowd screaming for every milestone.
I mean, SpaceX is
The
my
booster's
favorite
now
launch,
making its way
launch,
back
but
down to Earth.
you know,
Looks like we have 12 of those 13 engines ignited. We're using the engines that actually gimbal.
We
So
are go for booster return.
an excellent call out
see,
there.
all right, they only had 12 of the 13 fire, but that's okay. The
There's a
others
lot
can
of criteria
compensate
that
for it
needed to line up to ensure that
because they
we
don't
have
run the
a
engines at
safe-
100%.
a
Hardly
safe
ever.
Booster catch, and it sounds like we got the go for that.
All right, they got to go for booster catch. Yes. Oh, look at that. Look at that
There you
camera
can see on
view
your screen,
as they
we
as they
have
jettison the hot
we
staging
just
ring.
jettisoned the hot stage.
Ah, looky there.
And there's a great, excellent view there of the hot stage floating away.
I don't know how many times they're going to
Super
use
heavy
that. They're going to
booster.
redesign that anyway where they won't have to expend it. But right now it's just too much extra
We've
mass
shut down
as they're
the
trying to bring it
engines
down.
For that boost back burn, that confirms boost back burn is now complete. That was the first of 2 burns required for the vehicle to make its way back down to Earth. And next coming up will be the landing burn. That's going to be 13 of those center engines igniting again. And that will then go down to, from 13 down to 3 engines just right before we
And
touch
even if
down
all
for that
13
boost
don't
back
fire, the others can compensate.
a reminder, our stage 1 objectives are to have a controlled ascent, stage separation, as well as a controlled boost back
Look at that
burn
view.
and hot stage as well. So we're looking good for that so far. Some great views there from the ship of Earth. That looks incredible.
That is, that's beautiful.
Now Starship's ship is still firing.
Still accelerating.
Its engines right now.
Over 8,000
And great
kmh.
call-out. Starship trajectory is nominal. You can follow along the telemetry, the altitude in the bottom.
I'm not used to
left-hand corner
non-freedom
for the
units.
Super Heavy booster, as well as the bottom right-hand corner for the ship. And these views are just amazing.
On the cutaway, but you can see the booster looking back at the
Again, the booster
at the
is
rocket there.
currently making its way back to
The
the
second
tower
stage.
today. So we're looking forward to a booster catch with the chopsticks. In the meantime,
See if they can get
see
it.
those grid fins there, helping to control the vehicle and guide it back to its landing site.
Booster MTS is saved.
Now with that, we're going to hand it back. How's it going over there, Dan and Kate? How are you doing, Kate? Seeing that in person.
You know, Dan had to take that entire segment because I couldn't talk. That was incredible.
There it is.
We can see the booster coming back in now.
I'd love to go
through
watch a
the
launch
plume.
live.
At least it looks that way to us. It's incredible that it basically returns.
But then I wouldn't be able to sit here with y'all and watch all these wonderful
just like
images.
silver flare,
Look at all that fire.
coming back to the
That's just
location
from the
we are
heater
standing
re-entry.
by for,
All that fire up in there
attempting to
underneath.
catch the booster at the tower. This would be the second tower
Oh,
catch.
here we go.
Landing
Here we
burn.
go.
Seeing 13 engines.
On. Yep. 13, 3.
Booster
Come
now
on.
hovering as it aligns with the tower for catch.
They're going to get it. They got it. They're going to get it. Yes.
Ready for that boom.
Yes.
Down to 3 engines.
Perfect. Oh, hell yeah.
Megazilla has caught the booster.
That's twice now. Twice. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a nerd. I get into this shit. Ah.
You heard it here. Megazilla has caught the booster.
Once again, for the second time, a successful catch.
I don't care who
on the
you
launch
are.
tower.
That's
This
cool
is
as
the
fuck.
same tower the launch
To catch a
pad
33-story
where
building
took off from just 7
falling at
1/2
fucking
minutes
what?
ago.
Mock Jesus?
Great view from the chopstick arms, looking at
Look
those
at it, just sitting there,
hypersonic
just
grid
a
fins that
swinging.
steer the booster for that
Right now it's
precision
only
landing.
hanging from 2 points.
It
And I
almost
mean,
looks
you
like it's
can-
flapping its
Yeah,
wings.
you can see just how small that catch fitting is too on something that's just so massive.
Oh, here we go.
It's absolutely insane.
All right.
Meanwhile,
We're not done, but
We're
wait,
not
there's
done
more.
yet.
Yeah, but wait, there's more.
Wow, that is just
Oh,
absolutely
Jesus.
stunning. And this, of course, a gorgeous view there from a tower looking down
I'm sorry,
at the top
guys.
of the booster.
That even got me teared up a little bit. I love this shit.
all right, and we are tracking.
Almost as good as sex.
Standing by for views from the ship, but who can take their eyes off of that incredible sight? That is once again the second
That is,
catch
that's
of a
wicked.
booster back at the launch tower.
Look at that,
It
no
was
fires
incredible
this
to see it
time.
Come back down, just this silver flare in the sky, and we can still see the launch plume behind us. And
I don't know, Rain. I am.
We definitely.
Oh.
I can't speak for you, Dan, but that was very moving for me.
Yeah, and right now you can see some of the telemetry on those ship engines has gone out, and we're waiting for an update on what our ship status is. We were approaching. That
Yeah, they
ship
lost
engine
telemetry.
cut off
That's
top.
not good.
So just waiting to hear. So obviously we've got booster back, booster on the launch tower in the chopstick arms, but we are waiting to get an update now on this ship.
Oh, no.
As we were expecting ship engine cutoff about 40 seconds ago. We saw some of those engines start to go out prior to that.
And it could just be a communications error.
And so right now we are
That ship is fully autonomous. It's driving itself.
Get the latest word on where we are with ships.
Hopefully
So
it'll-
stick
it'll
with us
snap
for
back
just
in.
A couple of minutes as we wait to hear some updates.
Now, if you just recently joined us, you might want to hit rewind and go back about 9-10 minutes ago to when Starship lifted off from the launch tower that you see there. We had a gorgeous ascent followed by a stage separation where the ship separated from the super heavy.
I sure hope they didn't
The
miss it.
booster performed
Something
a
didn't
flip
happen.
maneuver and returned back to the Gulf Coast here. There you can see it on your screen. Obviously, a successful catch back at the launch.
They
tower.
had all kinds of
Which is
tiles
something that we're
missing
all going to
and
see.
some removed on
Really couldn't
purpose
ask for a more beautiful background with
to
it.
test out the thermal
Blue
abilities
skies,
of different
blue
parts of the
water.
ship.
As Dan said, we are standing by for an update on the ship that had ignited.
Better
its
than Blue
engine
Origin,
and
huh?
its way
I'm excited for Blue
space.
Origin.
So,
The more
standing by
people
for
in the
an update on
business,
that.
it just accelerates the technology.
What an
It
experience
creates
to see that
competition.
take off, and for that booster to come back, you can see it
And let's face it,
goes on
we
the
don't,
screen
we don't.
to the place that
Which
it
as much as I love
launched from.
SpaceX, we don't need a
Once again,
monopoly
there were thousands
on
of,
space
catch
flight.
commit criteria, which is basically just all the things that we have to assess. And
That and Starship's going to be made for moving big things. You know, there'll still be room for the medium and smaller rockets, like Blue Origin. They can launch the larger, some of the larger satellites.
The last two flights that we
And I don't know if Blue Origin plans. I don't think they ever on New Glenn. I don't think they're ever going to plan to put people on New Glenn. I believe that's going to be on New Armstrong. If it's still going to be called that, that'll be their manned flight rocket. Starship, though, they're going to build it. It's going to be like ordering a car. You can get different options depending on your payload. They're going to end up putting a larger payload door on it for larger payloads. Of course, a crew cabin up top.
Going through their data, looking to make sure it's not anything instrumentation.
And with SpaceX and with their cameras and stuff, you don't need windows.
We're gonna keep listening in on this. We'll give you an update as soon as we have a little bit more. So for
Yeah,
now,
Blue
stay
Origin
tuned.
did
Back
lose
at the
theirs, and
tower.
I haven't heard what happened yet. But hey, that's their first flight. On Starship's first flight, they lost both of them. It was a big explosion, and they had trouble with the automatic termination system not going off right. The explosions didn't blow up the ship. It finally blew up on its own as it tore apart. But hey, that's all part of learning. All part of learning. Yeah, I'm getting worried now. Something happened. Maybe they're rebooting the router. Did you turn it off and back on again? And they had so many different tests they were going to do while it was up there, including relighting the engines. I think they were going to do another prop,
So if you're
fuel
just tuning in,
transfer.
we caught a booster, but we are still waiting to find out a little bit more on the ship. So
And they're also going to launch 4 dummy
separated.
satellites
We did that hot staging maneuver. We
to
did
test
see
out
all
the
6 of ships
the
and
Pez
engines
dispenser
on
in the
way
door
up
and
during its
its
ascent.
capability of
But
launching
as we were
satellites.
getting to the end of that ascent burn, we saw engines dropping out on telemetry, and we have since lost contact with the ship. So again, we're still listening in on the loops, trying to figure out how much we can get right now. But again, stick with us. We'll bring you updates as soon as we hear them. Really exciting. We were able to catch the booster today. Obviously, we want to get the ship all the way over to the Indian Ocean. May not be able to do
Well,
that.
that
this
sucks.
week, but we'll give you some updates as soon as we hear a little bit more about the ship.
For those that didn't catch earlier, this was a new version of the ship. This was its debut flight. So a lot of learnings here for sure as we continue to tune in and listen in with the teams and try to gather more information to understand where we stand with the ship. But as Dan mentioned before, teams are trying to make sure that it's not an instrumentation error. We want to find out if it's, did we just lose communication or did something else happen with the ship? So teams.
And
are
I don't think they're
actively
too far
working
away from
to
Flight
figure
8.
out,
I believe they've
what we
already
can, what we
completed
can
building both
find
the
out, and we're continuing to listen
booster
in
and the
and,
ship
find
for
out
the
more
next launch.
information to share as we can. But as we said before, and you can see it there on your screen, what a beautiful, beautiful sight to see another booster back at the launch tower. That was
Yeah,
successfully
waiting for the
launched
satellites to
ago,
realign.
after sending the ship off into space and having seen it for the first time with my own eyeballs in person, it was pretty awesome. And yeah, the thunder-like sonic boom was really fun to experience.
Yeah. So we are getting a little bit more. So we did lose all communications with the ship. So I mean that is essentially telling us that we had an anomaly with that upper stage. So we were just coming up to the end of that pass and burn for the ship when we stopped when we started to lose a couple of the engines. We saw those dropping out, and then we did lose telemetry from the ship. So that means we didn't have contact with it. So at this point, we are assuming that the ship has been lost. So this was a brand new vehicle.
That sucks.
This is kind of an upgrade version. So with that, there's a lot of things you're upgrading, but there's a lot of things you're going to learn as all of those systems are now interacting with each other. For the
Like I
first
said,
time.
that whole ship was covered in
But at this
sensors
point,
and cameras.
We did lose
So I'm
the
sure
upper
they got
stage
all
of
they got
the ship.
all kinds of
So,
information they can
again,
figure
we're
out
gonna-
what
we're
happened
gonna listen in and try
and
to
how to
figure
fix
out
it
a
for
little
next
bit
time.
More about what happened. And obviously, we'll do kind of a full breakdown once we get smarter ourselves in the coming
So they
hours.
did the opposite of Blue Origin.
Now, for those that have recently tuned in, we're now a little over T plus 16 and a half minutes after liftoff. We do believe that we have lost the ship during its ascent phase. It's successfully separated.
At
from
least
the
they're admitting it.
Booster.
See, that's what I like about
But,
SpaceX.
During that ascent phase, a couple of the engines dropped out, and then shortly thereafter, we lost communication with the vehicle. So we are assuming that we have lost.
And it sends so much data
We
back
are
so
standing by
fast,
to
it'll take them a
confirm
while to
once
come
we
through it.
can. We will, but this was a new version of the ship, of Starship, and it was intentionally designed and flown in order to basically test the envelope, as we have done with every one of these test flights. The key
Yeah, they were going to land this
test,
in the ocean anyway. It
and
wasn't
really
anything they were going to
understand the
reuse
boundaries
anyway.
and the maximums for the ability of this vehicle to fly and understand where those boundaries are. So we always.
And rumors are they're going to try a catch
Uh,
of both
the
of them
excitement is
on
guaranteed,
8.
Today.
They might wait one more
Success,
time
not
to make sure the new
guaranteed.
Block 2
So,
rocket
yeah, we are
can fly
standing
right
by
before they try to bring
see
it
if we can
back.
learn
But
more about the status of the ship.
that sucks. The engine's venting. Look at that. That's pretty. Those are huge grid fins. All right, they're not saying anything. Let's go over here and let's turn up a.
Historically, it's obviously a Nazi horrifying missile system. But this new version of Starship, Starship version 2, there, I'll call it version 2. You happy? Starship version 2 is supposed to be a lot more kind of refined, a lot more finalized, a lot more closer to an operational upper stage. So you never know, though, when you make so many changes at once and at the pace of iteration, changing so much stuff, you know, thousands of changes between the Flight 6 Starship and Flight 7 Starship upper stage. It's not that surprising that there could be something that got overlooked or just done wrong. And you know what? At the end of the day, they're going to learn from it. They're going to learn, and they're going to go, oh, cool. Okay,
Yep,
well,
exactly
we
what I said.
realized that was a thing, but All
That's
right, now
what
we
I
can
like
they'll
about
make
the
a
rapid
better,
pace
more
of
reliable
SpaceX.
system
The
because
faster
of it.
they launch,
I love
the
that they're
faster they find
decompressing
problems and they
the
can fix
booster.
them.
Now the booster looks good. That booster looks fantastic. That looks like
Yeah,
it's
it does.
in way
Looks very
better
good.
shape than Flight 5's booster. That's incredible. And they're very much venting all of the propellant out, which they were not able to do successfully last time, if I recall. So hopefully they'll be able to stack that back down onto the orbital launch mount very quickly this time. It'd be really impressive if they actually were able to do that quickly here. We will see. Last time it took several hours to be able to get it back and safely on the tower. It'd be cool if they could do it within 1 or 2 hours. And who knows, maybe this booster will get another chance to do another mission. If it came back looking good, there's a chance they just refly this one. So who knows? That's a good looking booster though. I can't believe it still looks pretty darn good. So at least I like that we have it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet. We have.
So, and I'm still
1.5
excited. I'm still
million
happy.
Things to try.
Failure
to
is an
say,
option.
I just gotta say thank you if you're watching. There's still 130,000 of you watching. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. It really does mean the world. We've got a ton of super chats.
got
A ton
8
of good
people
questions.
over here on
I'm gonna try to answer them
Twitch.
as many as I can.
How many
And
we
then
got
I'm
on the
gonna have to
YouTube
rest my voice
side?
because I've been screaming. I've been streaming for 3 days, like long
3 watching
streams,
now.
3 days in a row now.
Appreciate each and every one of you
Exhausted,
coming
had
in.
caught a red eye the night before. Had logistical.
Like I said, if
challenges,
you hadn't, go
2
ahead and
weeks
give the
to
stream a
build
like.
The Astro Awards in a week.
4 likes already.
I've gotta
Appreciate it,
prevent burnout.
folks.
I've got to prevent getting sick because sometimes I run myself to exhaustion and I end up on the couch for like 3 days sick. So I can't have that right now. So I'm going to try to keep this relatively short. Let me read a bunch of your comments. Stick around. We'll hopefully learn. I'll shut up as soon as I hear anything from SpaceX and if we learn anything else. I should never have a pen in my hand because I use it way too much like a weapon. Thank you guys though for tuning in. Seriously. Hope to see you guys at Astro Awards. Hope you can catch up on some of my old videos. There's other videos that you might not have seen that are fun.
Right,
and
let's see what
entertaining.
Felix
So
is saying.
Watch those if you're waiting.
Go over here, back over here to what about it?
Built so that the booster is extremely quickly back at the launch site. On a Falcon 9 launch, that initial condensate plume from the launch is normally gone by the time the booster comes back down, or at least very much dissipated. And here, look at it, there's the cloud. That cloud is launch cloud. It goes straight through it again when coming down. This is just amazing. This is very, very nominal. It's just exactly the way it should be. I'm sad that we can't see, like, can we move my, give me a second. This is Talent 1, right? Can you move me a little bit up? There you go, so that we can see the flap, the grid fin work, not the flap. Because on launch number 5, look at this. It looks like a cigarette butt or something when it comes back down. There's so much heat in the engine shield.
That's just from friction.
And then we have 13 engines cleanly igniting.
Good, all
so that
13
one
engines
engine
fired.
Relight that didn't work. Second time it worked. It switches back down to 3 engines because those are the ones that can gimbal. That with those it can change its trajectory.
Yep, that's how it steers.
This maneuver.
Look at that.
It's incredible.
It gets dang close to the tower.
It looks like
But that's the way it's designed.
Is suicide.
And it landed right where it was supposed to, though.
That's it.
Thanks everyone for continuing
they're
to
back.
stick
We might have
around
another thing that
as
one of the
we
flap
were checking
engines
in
was
on
burning. Give us a
the
second
status
here.
of the ship. At this point in time, we can confirm that we did lose the ship.
Oh, no.
However, Starship, the total vehicle, did have an on-time liftoff at 4:37 p.m. Central Time from the launch pad just behind us at Starbase Texas. Gorgeous ascent and successful stage separation. The booster pushed the ship off, the ship disconnected during that stage separation. The booster came back for a successful, the second ever booster catch at the launch tower, which was pretty incredible to see.
Yeah, it was great to see the booster come down, but we are obviously bummed out about ship. It looked like we lost contact with it a little under 8.5 minutes into flight. That's roughly when you start to get to that main engine cutoff. We obviously need to go through all the data. It's going to take some time. In the next hours, days, we're going to figure out exactly what happened, come back, fly the next one, get even farther, reminder, it's a test. It's a flight test. It's an experimental vehicle. So we'll figure out what ended our day
these are all
today,
flight
make
tests.
Sure it doesn't end our day tomorrow. So as we do that, we're going to continue to provide you updates on our X account.
But I like the fact that they're gonna
So just
they're gonna continue testing before they put a man on it.
What happened? We'll be ready to share.
Exactly. So for now, we are going to wrap up our webcast. We'd like to thank the folks in the county for supporting the launch, as well as the agencies that enable us to launch, and of course to our viewers for tuning in.
And thank you, Kate, for coming down, doing this with me. It was great to have you.
No, they can't. No, they can't. So I'm listening. I'm listening to my people in the background. You can, if you want to. Just feel free. Jonathan, you know him from earlier. Yeah, and this is what I meant. The cutoff. There he is. That's the guy I was talking to. And the cutoff, the engine cutoff was asymmetrical. I instantly looked down there when I saw one engine go out. I was like, because. So we're trying to get the pictures. Give us a second here.
We refresh, make sure it's all
And
caught
where
up.
is that? Wow! If that would go over my house, I would be. Whoo,
Turks and Caicos.
entering over Turks and Caicos.
Okay, apparently above the Caribbean.
Caribbean.
I'm not a geographical talent.
It could be because the ship didn't go too far. The ship did not go too far.
Yeah.
So if that
I
would
think-
fly over my house, I would seriously be concerned.
I agree. I mean, I think the
And
most
that's the reason. That is
That's-
the very reason why SpaceX doesn't want to catch the ship yet.
Yeah.
This is, whoa, look at this
Exactly.
footage. Though.
Yeah.
This looks amazing.
So,
It does. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. I have to agree with a few people here
so
on the chat.
big shout out to LXD for capturing this and putting it on X.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Alex. This is much appreciated, and it's beautiful footage. It looks beautiful. It's the most impressive fireworks he's probably ever going to see in his life. But it is not a nominal Starship trajectory, so this shouldn't have happened. My guess is that diagram that we saw in the lower right corner, when that started cutting off engines, it was asymmetrical. First one engine, then two engines, and they are on one side. And so what happens to a rocket, let me just grab my water bottle here, as a crude rocket there, maybe we can go to the point where, exactly, when you see the engine cutoff appearing, it happens on one side. See, there's one middle engine going. But they still have good telemetry, meaning that is probably accurate. One engine is out. So the ship gets more thrust on one side. And what that does, if I'm holding this bottle and I'm pushing it on one side, see what it does? And if that gets crazier, and it does in a short second, I was already like, oh, what's up with that one engine?
Yep, see,
Second,
2, 3.
third one, and they're all on one side. These engines are all on one side, meaning
Yeah,
the ones
that thing's
on the
gonna
other
start to
side
spin,
if this
flip.
telemetry is correct, the other engines are full pushing right now. That makes the Starship go into a spin, and that spin, it doesn't last long. It's still lasting, as you can see. There's still telemetry. Two engines burning rest off, and then at some point,
Fourth
that's
engine.
it.
There you go,
End of the
fifth engine.
telemetry.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was still accelerating quite a long time, even with one engine. But
Yes.
the outer engines don't gimbal, so even if they would try, there would be no chance of
No,
steering
they
ship
couldn't.
The
with
question
outer
is,
engines.
Could not
Did
adjust
it
So if
break
this
up, or
telemetry
did they
is
actually
correct,
hit the button
and there was
to blow it
a
up?
one-sided engine out? Yeah.
I mean, it
You cannot
was
recover from that.
all the other engines.
Or the
failed
computer
first.
might have done it for
So
them.
It might have not been just the engine that failed, but it might be some other thing that made all the engines fail.
Oh yeah, there might have been
pretty-
exactly. That might not.
Yeah, I mean,
have
that
been
would
even
indicate-
But if the engines on one side fail and the other engines are still pushing, that is absolutely the end of the rocket.
Yeah. And I mean, we
So-
saw it only got up to like 21,000 kilometers per hour, and I think it
And
would
that's
have
a lot
needed
of
like
speed.
27. It's a lot of speed, but it would have needed like roughly 27.
I mean, it's T plus 8 minutes and 43. If we put the in-flight timeline,
Another
up on
image
screen,
of it.
You can
Breaking
oh,
up.
no,
I don't know
it's
where
the
that's-
wrong
where
one.
that's
We have
at.
to actually use this one. You can see at T plus 8 and 43, Starship engine cutoff is T plus 8 53.
For the spaceship. for
So the
Starship,
telemetry,
this
this
could be-
is a minute away from cutoff. So it was almost there. It was
Yeah,
almost
we lost the first engine about a minute before they should have shut off.
It was almost there. All right, that's the first Block 2 Starship. They had some hiccups with it anyway, pre-flight. They had some stuff they had. Oh, bye. They had some stuff that they still had to fix anyway. They worked on that. That delayed the flight a little bit, which shows a few maybe even problems that occurred even before the launch. That's Block 2 for you. We'll have to wait and see for Flight 8. The unfortunate thing is that SpaceX wasn't able to deploy the satellites, and that SpaceX definitely did not get a promising signal from this first Block 2 Starship, meaning we're not ever going to see a catch on Flight 8. A ship catch.
Probably not.
Catch, as you can see, that works.
They'll probably keep catching boosters
on Flight 8
and getting that down pat. But yeah, they're not going to.
So
they're not going to try until they get a stable rocket.
Investigations for SpaceX to find out what actually happened, to improve on that, and then send another ship out there that improves on this very mistake. That's how it goes in rocketry, and we've seen it just live. And I for myself can say I enjoyed this very much, even though we lost a ship, because that's kind of what makes it exciting, to be honest. It's
it does.
Man,
and let's face it, have people watch NASCAR, watch it for the accidents.
What do you say,
We do
Jonathan?
also have the replay ready for from our other camera that was
From our camera, go ahead.
Exactly, so
play
we
it.
can figure out if it survived. I'll just jump to the find the exact moment. Yeah, there we go.
No. Did it survive though?
We'll see, I haven't checked it yet.
No. Oh, this looks good. A little bit engulfed. Rocks flying, but not much.
Hey, that camera probably survived.
I mean, if you compare this to like the first flight, where like... I think looks fine now.
For anyone that's a cameraman right now, I know you're wincing.
Yeah, it's pretty windy though, so the dust clears pretty quickly.
Maybe a few scratches on the lens, you know.
Yeah,
Minor stuff.
I mean, if you compare this to the first flight,
it'll buff out.
Like bath sizes of concrete flew around. This is like
oh yeah. The tunnel digging machine of that was IFT1 was a completely different experience. We lost quite a few cameras back then, but this is great. And then you can see the chopsticks getting ready for the catch. Do we have the catch as well?
Of course, we have the catch as well. Just give me a second.
Have the catch. Let's see how clean the lens was.
Because I mean, you can definitely see that the lens is a bit dirty.
Yeah, but this initial plume is already gone. Oh, there it is.
That was too quick.
Starts rumbling again. There it goes.
The water deluge going for the catch.
This is amazing tech. This is just incredible.
Wow.
And again, the size of this does not come across on the screen. It is. I've been there. Jonathan's been there too. It is crazy. These things are so big. If you've not seen it in person yet, you can put so many statues of liberty or school buses or whatever next to it. It like we've all tried to show you the true size of this. It's incredibly large. Just imagine something incredibly large. Really big.
It's really large.
It's really, so big that the first time you see it, you think, wow, this is way bigger than I thought. Even though you think it's really big before you see it the first time. It's huge. So yeah, there we go.
One fun comparison I usually do is we have like a big cathedral in Cologne, and that's 156 meters high. And then I just like imagine it would be Starship, it would just be like 20 meters, 30 meters, sorry. You know,
yeah, but
like
V3 is going to be that size.
Exactly.
All right, folks. Shameless plug for myself. Go check out my merch store. Stream Elements has the link in there. Got my laser engraved Zippos and cups up there, as well as my other merch. A lot of 2A merch if you're into 2A stuff. Go and check it out. ashesmerchshop.fourthwall.com. Got all kinds of. Did I put? Yep, and I still got some of my space stuff up there too. I haven't changed up any of these designs in a while. But yeah, I've even got t-shirts, sweatshirts, cups. Haven't found a good image to laser engrave on a 30-ounce cup yet. That's really hard to do.
If you like fancy space nerdware, there's tons of ways you can support us. Thank you to everyone who's done this.
But anyway, there it is. I did have some jogging pants, but they raised the price on them, and they only went up to 2X. So us larger folks, that nobody was going to pay $50 for a pair of sweatpants. You can get those at freaking Amazon, and I don't blame you. But yeah, I've got the Starship shirts, Starship on there. That was, I need to change that logo. That's one of my older logos that was trying to do it for space. It's like a circuit board design.
As much information about Flight 7 on the next episode as possible.
Of course, all my merch has a flag on it somewhere.
We have to. We're planning on bringing that out tomorrow. So I don't know if that's going to work out.
Let's see here. The Dragon, which is their smaller rocket.
So here's the tweet. Pablo.
And a bunch of other stuff. They didn't have any camouflage sweatshirts, so I made one of my own. That's actually an all-over print. But anyway, go over there and check it out.
And then, yeah, this is already. Oh, there's an expert. That's an expert. That's the tank structure.
Oh, let's go back on this one. Whoops. Oh, yeah. Yep. That was a structural failure somewhere. There we go. And there's my link, my affiliate link for Secret Lab. If you're looking for a nice, high-quality chair, head on over to Secret Lab. Use my link. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you a discount or anything, but it does show them where you came from. Just go over there and check it out, see what they got. They've got chairs, they got desks, and all kinds of accessories. Monitor arms. I'm not sure if they've got their foot warmers out yet. They were supposed to come out. But all kinds of stuff. Go over and check it out. It's not cheap. But if you're looking for a good chair, my last chair is still in great shape. One of the arms broke off, but that's a 6-year-old chair. With my fat ass sitting on it. And the chair's still good. In fact, kitty cat's curled up on it right now. All right, enough of my self-promotion. Let's go back to... Why did I just lose? You lost audio. All right.
Rapidly, within like hours. If you have to go out there, it takes days. We go from days to hours. We've got another crazy X-post of it actually blowing up that we'll get on air here. So people were seeing this and actually saw it break up. Wow. Okay, we'll get this on air here shortly. Wow, yeah, this is definitely what's going on here. I mean, yeah. But that's why they don't land on a drone ship. Maybe someday if there's enough of a fleet. So check this out. This is another breakup, a video of it breaking up. You can see Starship though up until this point. That is beautiful. And there it goes. That is the moment they lost it. Fully lost it. And now you just see chunks of debris re-entering. Wow. 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 Crazy.
It happened twice during the stream.
Do
We're
you think
definitely going
SpaceX
to
will have
investigate on
a
that as well.
valid-
This is a new bug.
I assume that's a Mars habitat. Someday I hope that they do. If they're going to send humans there, you better have a way to have, humans, habitat. JB, BE4 is greater than Merlin. I think by most, besides the thrust to weight ratio, BE4 is more powerful, more efficient than Merlin. It's a great engine. It's an awesome engine. Merlin's still a higher thrust to weight ratio. Merlin's a pretty awesome beast. Don't underrate Merlin, and they just it's unbelievably reliable. But yeah, I would agree that in some ways BE4 is better than Merlin, and in other ways Merlin's better than BE4.
All right, Nix, you have a good nap.
This
or
is
it's
from
nighttime for you.
5000. Stoke might prove you wrong and launch when they say they will. By the way, I have a final interview to work with Stoke. Please wish me luck. That's amazing. I would love if Stoke proves me wrong by saying if it's going to be 2 years and they do it in 2 years, they would be the first. They'd be like the very first. That
Still got
is
8
awesome.
folks in here.
I'm sorry, I'm new to this.
see
Is this
here.
SpaceX's most powerful rocket? Yes, it is. Starship is over twice as powerful as the Saturn V that took humans to the moon. It is the world's most powerful rocket ever built, ever flown, period.
Unfortunately, what I'm
David
about to do, I
Swenson,
can
holy
only do
cow,
over
thank you,
here
Tim, for
on
all you keep the
YouTube.
Morgan Spaceflight coverage by the team.
I mean, on
Tacos.
Twitch.
Absolutely, David. Thank you so much for your generous support. Very much thank you. Wow. Thank you. Chat, please say thank you to David Swenson. That is huge.
Let's see here. So don't
That's
run
great.
away yet.
Space Twitter is go for Flight 7. Love it. Just want to say, see how you're doing. Can we get a BTS of the setup? Love your videos. Been watching for 5 years. Thank you. Yes, you will get a setup tour video when we get, hopefully after like Flight 8, we'll do a full review of everything now that we have everything kind of in its place. We'll do a full review tour of how we do these streams. Not this particular stream. This stream was done in a different way, but other streams. Zach DeBolt, really appreciate your channel as it helped me reignite my obsession for space and aerospace. I love to hear it. That's what it's all about right there. We're all humans witnessing fun and awesome history. Seth Miner, thank you so much. From Michaela, here we go. German space girl watching from Egypt. An American rocket maybe splashing down in the eastern Indian Ocean. Cool time to be around. You're right. That is so cool. That is like bringing the world together. A German in Egypt watching American rockets that should have splashed down in the Indian Ocean. Yeah, very crazy. Thank you for watching. Any plans for landing Starship with landing gear? Seems like a waste dropping in the ocean. If they
See
can
if
avoid
this
it.
works.
So again, we'll see if plans change, but for now, Starship will be
There we
planned
go.
and caught by the tower, which makes sense, especially on Starship. If you have, say, 10 tons of landing gear, then you're missing out on 10 tons of payload mass, which is crazy.
Giving away one of my shirts. Exclamation point enter to enter in the chat. You have 90 seconds.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
Starship
that's what you gotta do in
unisex
life, honestly, is,
soft style T-shirt by Gildan.
make great products and people
Come on,
will
let's
find
go
you. I
back.
think
Exclamation
afraid
point
that
enter in
instead of
chat
you
for
something about, like, Tesla
for
and
unfortunately
Starlink
only
stuff.
Twitch.
Make a great
I do
product
not
and people
have
buy it. I think that's kind of the mantra
YouTube
I'm trying
integration
to
for
do
this
as well.
yet.
Make a good product and people will find it. So yeah. Let's see. Do you know?
What, only 2
this is
people?
from Daniel.
This is going to be a quick
Did
one.
you know it takes?
Come on, 6
manure
people
of
still
around
in here.
180
Exclamation point
cows
enter to
fill
win a
Starship.
T-shirt.
I did not know that. That's how much methane. 180,000 cows. Sorry, to fill up Starship. We need more cows.
Looks like either Will or Cowboy Pipes is going to get it.
Jeffrey Johnson.
Come on, somebody.
What happened to that YouTuber? who used to
Manette,
get
if
flight
you if
technology
you're
as they
if
said?
you're just
You know
lurking,
what's funny is I've
run
watched
back,
the
run
spaceship
back.
Since 2018, yet it still comes up. That's 7 years ago. That's the last time I wore the spacesuit on the channel was 2018. Very early days, Everyday Astronaut. Crazy to think about. Absolutely crazy to think about. What do you think about Block 2 ship aesthetic-wise? I think it looks a little bit more majestic compared to Block 1. Greetings from Denmark. Well, thank you so much.
There we go. Will Smash. Will Smash got it.
Professional.
Hey,
Just
y'all had a
more
50-50
good
chance.
together, assessment of it. Thank you.
Congrats.
Hunter been watching
Hit that
since
redeem
6
link.
Georgia Tech. Wow.
Go and verify your Twitch.
Check out the
And it's yours.
SP Club building Carolux rocket space. That
Pick
is
your
awesome.
size and color,
Best of
and
luck with your
they'll ship it
Carolux
out to
rocket
you.
And a space shot. That's crazy. From George or Jorge, Hey Tim, if my wife finds out I'm giving money to a space streamer, she's gonna kick my butt, but it's worth it. As always, great job. Go SpaceX, go Starship, go the astronaut. Well, thank you so much. I hope you don't get in trouble.
All right, let's see what Felix is up to over here. Whoops.
Why is it getting bigger?
Oh, do they have a fire now?
I don't know if it's smart to vent while the flames are on.
I would guess they're just getting ready for some onwards.
And dummy payloads that would have been ejected.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting this from the off right now. They need to vent the methane, but if the business end of the booster is still hi again. If the business end of the booster is still too hot, it ignites the methane that is vented out through the booster quick disconnect that is normally hooked up to that little hood you see sitting on the orbital launch mount. This square little thingy there is the booster quick disconnect, and that's the panel out of which they are venting this. Well, might not have a reflight of booster 14.
Yeah, I mean, we did also lose an engine on that booster.
Yeah, yep.
So, but engines are replaceable.
Yeah, Phalanx, yeah, you missed
nice
it.
Candle. So
they caught the booster, although
I agree with
all of a
that.
sudden it's on fire now. But they could just be, I think they're detanking the methane.
Mm-hmm.
And it probably just caught fire, which is fine.
Yep.
It'll burn off.
Yeah, no, this is venting.
I mean, we had something.
Let's just.
Yeah, they're just venting. It's not a fire.
Yeah, I mean, we had something similar on the last landing, I'm very sure as well.
Yeah, but it wasn't burning when it was caught. That's the difference here. No, SpaceX should still be in control of that manifold. So if this is getting too crazy, they can just shut the methane off.
Yeah, and they did also move the chopsticks down already. So when they catch it, they were basically all the way on top, and now we can just
They're lowering it down
again. It's basically halfway down already, so they definitely still have control of the tower.
Might even be nominal, but they can vent it when burning. It's a flare.
Yeah, they might be burning it on purpose. It might be better for the atmosphere to vent
Another thing for us
it
to
on fire,
investigate
so
on
a
the
lot of
next
it burns
episode.
up. Then they just release the methane into the atmosphere.
Thank you so much, everybody. I fingers crossed that this booster isn't going to explode. We're going to keep this running for you guys so that you can take a look and see this develop in real time. But I'm going to call it. Thank you very, very much for watching, guys. You rock. You seriously do. Thank you.
And while we're at it, once we do stop the stream, you can for sure see this live cam on our 24/7 stream. So it's available there 24/7, all week, all year basically. So once we do stop the stream, just head over there.
Oh crap! I had the wrong picture up anyway. But anyway, all right, let's go back over here.
Our big venti flames. Hey, should we re-record on these cameras?
Fling me in sideways.
Could just be venting methane back out the QD. The quick disconnect.
Why is it doing that?
Because if they're venting methane, that might be the only way they actually have to depressurize the vehicle. Starhopper used to do that. Yes, I was blind to the fire, guys. You know, this is, honestly, if you saw Starhopper, you'd realize this is totally normal. They're just probably venting. That's probably the most efficient way they have to vent the methane, the leftover methane. No big deal. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. Watching right as I say that it explodes, but I think that's just the only way they have to vent methane. Ola becoming the member, and Lukenstein 86 and Ben Moran becoming a member. Thank you so much. Buff Bagel, looks to be like the thrust to weight ratio of Blue Origin was off. What do you think? Yeah, we've talked about it a few times. It does seem like it was quite low. I don't know if it underperformed or if that's just, yeah, who knows. Thank you though. Justin Preble, really appreciate the quality of your content and your interviews with Elon are epic. Thank you so much, Justin. Huge. Wow. Thank you. Very, very, very. Seriously, greatly, greatly appreciated. It'll be feeding mouths tonight. I promise you that. There are 40,000 people watching and only 1,000 like. Let's all like the stream and help Tim out with the algorithm. I would appreciate that. Now we're down to 53, but we do have 23,000 likes. So if you have that ability to send us a like, it does help the algorithm. It does help the channel.
All right, folks. I think I'm going to call it. I think it's pretty much over with. Fire's out now.
Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate
Tim was right. They were just. They were
YouTube
just.
is favoring
I think that's the
shorts
best way to
at this
vent the
time, so maybe
methane is to burn it.
to regain traction. I have been doing more shorts.
That way, less of it actually gets in the atmosphere.
I've been doing some more shorts. I'll have to do a few more. It just sucks. It takes away from the long form content that I actually like to make.
Booster go boom.
Rocket Tyson, can you tell us anything you know about the new experimental tiles, I assume, on Starship? So
Too bad no explodey.
no,
Oh
we
no,
don't
you
know
missed the
what kind of
explosion
vacuum
earlier.
cooling
They
we use.
people
We
actually
use
caught
gas cooling, which
on
is
X
blowing
actually
channels
caught the
and somehow recirculating and
the
then
Starship
venting out
itself
gas,
re-entering and blowing up.
aspirational cooling where they're
It's some
cooling
really good
floors.
images.
We don't actually know. What did I tell you guys about the fire, by the way? What did I tell you?
Yep.
You're all worried.
You're right. You're right.
Tim, you're missing it. It
You're
was
right.
a fire. Who cares? After what it just went through, that's nothing. It's a little burp.
All right, Tim. You're right.
Yeah. So sorry, we don't actually have a ton of
Let's see
info about the tiles, honestly. Let's keep going here. I'm trying to just fly. Oh, we have so. Oh my God.
Oh, wrong one.
Guys, I can't. Unfortunately, my voice is, if you hear it, it's absolutely shot. I'm so far behind on these. Let me see where we're at. I'm going to have to go to the big ones. I'm sorry, everyone. I really appreciate all this.
A little early in the day to be raiding out to somebody.
This is from Chris Gallon. SLS, what's your workaround? What's the
Oh,
workaround inside for the
Todster.
heat
My buddy
shield issue?
Todster's live.
Well, we don't know yet, and they don't know yet. And that's the beauty of
Scuba Steve, love your
testing
face,
and
my
flying and
dude.
rapidly iterating. We're
Love
going
your
to keep
face.
seeing changes.
Hey, guys,
Maybe it will be an
if
active
you
heat
want
shield.
work on your streams, it
Maybe it'll
don't
be
cost you a
thicker
thing.
heat shields.
Click
Maybe
that
it'll just be
link.
having an ablative,
Don't cost a thing. You just click that link.
cover
Eventually,
underneath the heat shields.
that helps my channel
We'll
out
find out. But
because
thank you so
guys
much
are underneath.
from Chris.
Don't cost you a thing. You get all those wonderful
Let's
things.
see here.
That's huge. Thank you so much.
Good job done.
And Ryan Dodd, by the way.
go
Oh,
over
I see.
here.
That was SLS. I see what you're talking about. Sorry. Ryan Dodd, by the way. Fellow Dodd. Thank you so much. Chris was saying SLS for working on the heat shield. Ryan is technically messed up on the heat shield.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to.
The workaround is a different reentry profile. Instead of going back to finer
I can't raid out on YouTube yet.
shield where it's easier to
Here's somebody I've never raided out to, the Rocket Guy. He was also showing the. All right, we'll raid out to him. Anyway, thank you all for coming and hanging out. It's been a blast. I appreciate everybody coming out. Like I said, give the stream a like over there on YouTube. Consider giving me a sub. Damn, we still got 9 people in here. Wow. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming out. Thanks for all the views I've been getting lately. Obviously, my channel's going to end up becoming a space channel. I think. Still do a little gaming here and there, but it's mainly going to be that. So, and we'll see you all next time. Where is that button?